Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's me, Mark Robertson again, your man for all things basketball. And today I got a question on Twitter to go over. It was like a two-part question, and I was like, well, it kind of relates to the same thing. We're going to go over my opinion on if the Kings should re-sign Collison or Lawson, and that's one part. And the second part is like re-sign slash keep Rudy Gay if he opts in to his third year of his contract. So let's get into it. First, let's go over Rudy. Like I said, he has the option earlier in the season before his injury hit. He had made the option that he wanted to opt out of his contract at the end of the season because he didn't like it here or some reason. Uh, and then after his injury, or through the process of his rehab, he said, I might have to rethink about, or he didn't say it. I think it just like comes to mind. Well, it's a possible $13 million or one more $13 million a year, and you're coming right out of a huge injury. So it's like, do you like go ahead and keep the money, or like try to get a better contract from a different team that doesn't know if you're fully healed or not? It's like that kind of situation, which could lead him to opting in. Um, in my opinion, if he opts in, I think we should use him as a way to go up in the draft. So, like, if we ended up with 6, maybe we could pull up to 4. Maybe that'd be kind of cool. Um, and then we would still have, by trading the 6th pick and him for the 4th pick, we would still get that 13 mil back in cap space for signing countless different, very good, under the radar free agents that are going to be in this up and coming free agency. And then if he opts out, well, then there's no problem. We're going to have 45 plus million or plus $45 million um, in free agency or in cap space to use on whoever we want or whoever they want during the off season. So I think the Kings will have a good chance this season or this upcoming season. So yeah, in my opinion, no, I don't want Rudy Gay to be on the Kings. I don't think he's really like. Yes, he is definitely a starter worthy player. No, he's not a Kings worthy player. Like, he's not the kind of player that we want to see on the Kings. He doesn't pass the ball. He isolates way too much. Yeah, he has a good 3-point shot, but like he still turns the ball over a lot. He's a semi good rebounder. Like I said, he averages a lot less assists than his position does sometimes. So like it's basically, yeah, I don't want Rudy Gay to be on this team next year. He would not help the young core do anything in this situation, especially if we ended up drafting a small forward and a point guard. It's like we would rather get somebody else that could hopefully train either position to do better and to at one point or another become the starting positions for those teams. Um, and then Darren Collison is what is known as a really good backup point guard, but does not fit the persona of a really good starting point guard. He can shoot very well. He's very consistent at his shot. He's very consistent at the 3 ball. He's not really consistent when it comes to being able to pass though, or being able to make plays. Um, So yeah, I don't see the Kings trying to re-sign Darren, especially if they can still get that good amount of money for the for free agency. And then Ty Lawson, I see the fact that Ty Lawson has looked really good. Little aspects of Denver Ty comes back to mind. Seeing him being able to shoot the three, not not the very best he probably could, but like if we need it, he can shoot it. Like that kind of situation. Like you throw it out to the corner, he's open in the corner, he'll make that pretty easily. He'll make them when we need him to make them. So yeah, that's pretty good. But like players like this draft, so the draft is heavy in point guards. The free agency is even heavier in point guards. Like I know there's not really a big like possibility the Kings could get either of the two or higher ones, which are uh, Chris Paul and Kyle Lowry. I think they're going to respectively go back to the Clippers and the Raptors because Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan are probably one of the best backcourt line or backcourt uh, or front court. No, yeah, backcourt duo in the entire league. Like them and Steph and Clay can definitely go back to back at that aspect. And then yeah, so like we wouldn't. I don't think the Kings would have any chance of being able to pull them away from their respective spaces, especially that Paul already said that he would probably re-sign with the Clippers earlier a few weeks ago, and then um, yeah, I don't see Kyle Lowry leaving the Raptors unless there's like some weird thing going on there. But that would be cool if we could see Kyle Lowry on the Kings, even though every time they play him, he always has a problem with playing the Kings. Huh. I don't know. And then like the three point guards that I see, and there's even a fourth one, but he's not really like he's kind of like that situation with Darren where he's a good backup because he can't really shoot the three ball. So like honorable mentions would be Sean Livingston, but I think Sean Livingston will probably just re-sign with the Warriors because he's pretty good, or they really like him there. So there's that. But like Jeff Teague comes to mind. I've said this before. Jeff Teague, Patty Mills, and George Hill. All three of them can be good playmakers, and all three of them can shoot the ball pretty consistently, which we need. Like Darren Collison has been good at shooting the ball consistently, but can't average like a good 8 assists per game. Where like Jeff Teague and George Hill can do that, and we saw a little bit of Patty Millsap doing that earlier this season. He had like 10 assists off the bench and 6 and 7 and 8 stuff like that, which is really good to see. And then obviously Patty Mills is just a knockdown shooter. He's fire. Like so yeah, there's that. The only way I see Ty re-signing is if they don't get another point guard. Like if they draft a point guard and then they don't sign a point guard other than Darren Collison or Ty Lawson in the free agency, I see them choosing Ty over Darren because Darren's a good backup. Ty is coming back to his roots as a starter, so which is really good. Like when we saw them for that first 8 games, and we saw Ty start for Darren for those first 8 games of the season, he looked really good. I thought he looked really good those first 8 games. And he's looked really good off the bench ever since, him and Willie and all them. So yeah. So in conclusion, I would not keep / re-sign Darren or Rudy if the chance came to be. Like I said, if Rudy opts in, try to trade him for either some other piece or moving up in the draft, because we can move up in the draft. Right now, I saw some statistic earlier where with having the 6th, 8th, and 35th pick, plus I think we have a 34th pick as well for the second round as well, the Kings are the most valuable in the draft this year, like by far, like number one by far, like between the second one, because we have those 2 top 10 picks basically. So yeah, there's that, and then with a lot of cap space, we could to throw like if they end up not having to deal with like Rudy coming back and like not re-signing certain veterans, like if Aaron just walks and players like that, just that situates. If they end up like, I think Costa would still be good on this team, but if they end up trading Costa to try to do some more moving up, maybe that would be kind of good because that even opens up more cap space since we have like, I don't know what it is, but in my opinion, Papagiannis coming off the bench, getting 2 back-to-back nights with he played like 42 minutes, I think, combined for the 2 nights, and he had 21 rebounds combined. And I think it was 20 points. So 20 points and 21 rebounds in a combined 2 nights for 42 minutes off the bench is pretty good. So, like, we could keep Papianis as the backup center. Maybe you never know. I honestly still think that next season we'll see Scal be our starting power forward. Scal will be the starting center or the starting power forward. That kid is phenomenal. That kid is so good. So yeah, there's that. I even see them like trying to shut down Kufis for the season and having Scal and Willie start with having Tolliver and Papianis come off the bench. So yeah. Like this offseason with so much cap space, they're gonna be able to throw at Otto Porter, who is averaging the highest percentage for 3-point shooters in the league by far. Like he's playing really good. He's like one of those really good underrated small forwards in this league. Like he would be a good person to throw a max contract at because he can come start for the Kings, and if we get say we get Jonathan Isaiah or like Miles Bridges or like if Jason Tatum even moved down, because I think at this point we're not going to get Jason Tatum because Jason Tatum's been moving up, which Josh Jackson's been moving down, so you never know. But yeah, I see that happening. They really don't need Rudy Collison or Lawson at this point with how the offseason is going to look. If they can get at least their point guard and their point guard and small forward, and then bring Boban over or Bogdanovic over in the offseason, and then get a good point guard and a good small forward to play that starting two positions. Like even if they could if Boban played 3, if he could play a solid 3, then we wouldn't have to get a small forward. But yeah, there's so many possibilities that I don't see I at least don't see Darren and Rudy in any of the possibilities in the upcoming season. Like I don't see any of it. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, I'm gonna move on to my picks for tomorrow. Tomorrow there's a Pelicans game, so I see Anthony Davis being one of the picks. No, he's one of my picks. And then there's a Seth versus Steph Curry match with the Warriors versus Dallas in Dallas. So that's going to be a really fun game to watch, which is going to be cool. So yeah, thanks to Austin H on Twitter for sending me your question. I hope I answered it at the best of my ability. And I just want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure to leave your questions / suggestions for what you want to hear me report on next down below, and I'll hit you up with an assist ASAP. And make sure to dunk on that like button and subscribe for more basketball content. I'll see you guys later, Hoop fans.